Hey there team, and welcome to a 3v3 on, oh yes, this is just the Grassy Fields or Grassy Plains. I'm playing as Rhudaur here, so I've got my pretty normal army to what I usually bring when I've got Rhudaur, my swordsman, and, let me let it organise, but I'm pretty sure I've got 3 units of swordsmen and 2 units of Rhudaur axemen, double Dunman pikes, and 1 Herenadine pikes. Out front I've got 2 Rhudaur marksmen backed up by 2 Rhudaur clansmen. No armor upgrades for anybody though. A kind of out of character thing for me to do is I've grabbed a unit of troll shot axe throwers. I don't usually take them, but I thought might as well today. Double more troll hunters of course to watch their backs for cav and also nice AP damage. And over here 2 units of Coldfell Maidens as well. That's normally I like to say take a Dunman Scout or a Dunman Outrider as they're now called, and 1 unit off Coldfell Maidens, but I just decided no, today let's grab double and really focus on my infantry to win me the battle. Coldfell Maidens are just watching their back for any cavalry, and if the enemy doesn't take much cavalry, I can just throw my javelins into the melee. So either way it is quite good. To my left, I've got Dale, played by Forentic Griffin. So he's got his Bardian Marksman out front, some Blackshot Dragon Slayers and Dalian Spears, Earls of Dale and Dalian Cav there. And he's very thin, but very long Barding Herd line. They are very good quality, but I still get a little bit nervous at just 2 ranks deep when it comes to phalanxes. I prefer sort of, 3 ranks deep, which we've got here with the Dalian Spears and the Lake Town Pikes. Then in the back there, Lake Town Infantry. Kind of interesting to have your Lake Town Infantry at the back, but I like it. And then that is that. Everything's been spread out. Again, I think we've got some more Lake Town Pikes on the right flank too. So very wide formation, far more wide than I like to go for. But it's really great because he takes up all of his deployment area, so he's quite close to me, and then he's still quite close to our last ally, Gil-galad, who is playing as Rhun. He's got his Loke Innis Rim there, and some Camel's Dragon Knights in the front. Scion Rim alongside a nice Gamp Rim line, and more Scion Rim at the side. Nar Rim behind them, and Eastron crossbows with their nice gold. Oh, some of them have the golden armor, some of them just have 1 level of armor upgrade. Then we have the Flag Rim, more Flag Rim, and more cavalry. Yeah, it looks like Innis Rim and Dragon's Wrath Warlord, so a hell of a lot of cav. Well, not a hell of a lot, but a lot of very expensive cav for Rhun today. Let's jump up to 2 times speed. Pretty sure he's got Lister playing as Angmar in front of him, and I've got Dol Amroth in front of me, and then we've got Erebor in the center. So it's a nice little matchup. I think Rhun's definitely got a decent chance against Angmar. I think one of the things I really do struggle with when I'm playing as Rhun is the lack of great quality infantry. I know the Camels Chosen are quite solid, but yeah, going up against some Western Kingdoms of men that can throw these exceptional units of infantry at me, and sometimes you don't really have an answer to that, is quite an issue. But Angmar doesn't, well, I guess the trolls can kind of count on that too. And there's not really a great quality, well, there's not really a great amount of stuff that can deal with these trolls too well. I guess the Flag Rim battering into them with their little axes and maces. Come on, boys. Go to 6 times speed, even though it looks a little bit jumpy. It's a bit misty today, which is a bit unfortunate. It really stops us from being able to cast our eyes over the whole battlefield quite easily. But it does add something to it, and I quite like bringing Rhudaur to sort of misty maps. It makes me, yeah, I quite like it. And it adds a bit of something to the Grassy Plains, because if not, they really are quite boring. Goodness me, 4,000, almost 5,000 frames of deployment. What's going on, guys? Oh, I think, did somebody say that? I think somebody said they actually, no, that was in a previous battle. Somebody said they just forgot to press start, but they had been ready for ages. But nope, there we go, finally. Let's go all the way down to 0.1 to make sure we get all this done. Lister here, as I say, he's got his Witch Realm Inquisitors, very capable at slicing through any cavalry we've got today. Warg Riders, just in case they can't. And Lister's very good at using his wargs to just charge into infantry as well. He's quite on the ball with that. Guardians of Carn Doom on the right with an armor upgrade. with an armor upgrade. Angmar halberds mixing up with a Gundabad guard, very sturdy. More Gundabad guard here alongside pikes. And more Gundabad guard. Jeepers, this is a very expensive front line, but as long as he's able to get it to work, and Angmar halberds and more Guardians of Cardibs, this is a really just powerful assault there. As Lister likes to do, there's definitely some barrow wights up front, but we'll have to see when they start moving. Witch Realm Blackguard, that's where we've got the general today, in amongst them. I do like to put him with the Hammer Guard just so that he gets AP on his big sort of mace, but either way, the Blackguard will keep him safe. Then more Warg Riders on the left flank and a unit of Trolls, the Trolls of Gundabad. His first ally is the one and only. He's got Erebor today, which is the Ironfoot Wargoats, some Sons of Durin, Erebor Legionnaires, some Halberds, Blacklock Engineers, Crossbowmen, Pikes, more crossbows and more pikes and halberds, and then the Ironfoot Spears on the left flank. So this would definitely be very lovely to get some shots back into the Ironfoot halberds and the pikemen, but to do that you've got to get through the crossbow line, which is never very fun. And the Hammer Guard are here too, so if you extend too far they'll get a charge on you. Dragon Slayers are over here on the left flank too. Now my enemy is Dol Amroth, as I say, played by Farers, goddamn, sorry, Farers, yeah, HK. It's okay, HK is probably what I'll be saying. He's got civvies out front, behind them some Dornernal archers, and then Tornastian spears alongside some of these Dornernal pikes. What am I seeing here? Nope, that's still just Tornastian spears. Just very long blades on those spearmen. And yep, that's the same all the way down the line. Are these? No, these pikemen are not armor upgraded there. Still nice and sturdy, as every even militia of the Western Kingdoms are. Athelan men-at-arms are also on armor upgraded. Then the Black Swan Renegades, Terathair Marksmen, and Swan Knights and Haven Guard in the back. So that is where we will start. As I say, 18,000 frames. Oh, whoops, daisies. Also 2 units of Knights of the Silver Swan. So we're at 5,000 frames in to this 18,000 frame battle. 18,000 frames is quite long for a 3v3, but you can see why it's taken that long. Now, Lister is going to be coming forward. He is actually making tracks quite fast there. Goblin trackers there. Actually, I'm not seeing any barrow wights. I think he has foregone them. I think they're maybe going to slow his attack down a bit too much, so he wants to just lurch up. He does have some goblin trackers, though, to try and screen his forces, and I think we're going to have to slow down immediately. Those Guardians of Carndum, especially with their armor upgrade, they're going to be able to resist that fire for ages. The crossbowmen, that's definitely what you want targeting them, but right now that is a bit out of range. Gundabad Guard there, again, very, very sturdy, trying to keep the halberds safe. The pikes are a little bit behind them, so those crossbows could get a great shot on the side of the pikemen there, but they're not really going to be able to fire for long, because Lister is making ground very quickly, as I say. You can't really target this too well with cavalry because of these wargs and the inquisitors, and of course you're not going to be unscathed from all of those goblins. And because of the width of that formation, he is able to cover all of this. Now the Gamp Rim mixed in with some Flag Rim, that's not an easy thing to pass through, but those pikes are going to be outranging the poor Gamp Rim. And yeah, as I say, he's going to be able to cover the entire formation, so he's going to be able to curl around it. What are those crossbows rattling into? Okay, they are going in. They are dropping people and doing a hell of a lot of damage, but we really need fire down onto that pike line. And these wargs are going to be getting in around behind and messing with all of the crossbowmen, I suspect. Ennis Rim not really going to be able to do too much. The Dragon's Wrath Warlords will definitely be able to kill a lot of wargs, but they're not going to be quite a match for the Inquisitors. Shadow Guard, fantastic. If we get these Shadow Guard on the flank, we can start tearing through. But as I say, when you don't have the cav advantage, working on the flanks is not easy. Ennis Rim getting mixed in amongst the wargs. This is perfect for the wargs, exactly what they want. They'll just be able to tear through that. Daly and Cav coming in to support, though. Running on back to me, I've lurched forward, and I've actually had a quick confrontation with the Knights of the Silver Swan. And I was kind of surprised, actually, because they are holding their own quite well in that fight up against me. You know, they really are sort of tearing through my poor maidens, who are anti-cavalry at the end of the day. And those swan, well, Knights of the Silver Swan are lancers, as far as I'm aware. And yeah, they're certainly going toe-to-toe with me quite well. But I suspect it is probably just because of their heavy armor and the fact that they've got a decent attack anyway. So I decide I've lost far too many of them. Let's run on out and actually use my javelins instead. Yeah, I think we had a little... Oh yeah, no, the civilians ran on forward, but I just sort of shot them to pieces. I think I actually gave them a quick charge with my cavalry too, so I was happy enough with that. I don't really rely too much on my arrows, so using a few of them just to wipe out those civilians is something I'm okay with. Over here we have had a bit of a cav fight, but it really looks like the poor war goats were suffering there. It's a troubling thing to approach a Dalian battle line. You are going to take a lot of fire, even heavily armored like that. And the Earls of Dale are not going to walk away from that fight without taking some casualties, but they will be able to wipe out what's left of the Ironfoot Wargoats there, especially if the second unit comes around and just breaks them. But no matter what, the one and only I think is going to be able to advance there. Yeah, as I say, so much of his power is in his pikes and halberds, and that is just going to attract so much fire if he's not able to use it up. But this is really where the main confrontation is happening right now. Golden boys always look quite nice. I might try to grab some images for the thumbnail there. See if we get some more pikes in the air. No, I think all the pikes are aimed down on the ground, so that's okay. But all the way through the line, it's just having the pikes, having these elite infantry units on the front line. As I say, that's really helpful. There's not really anything from Gil-galad's side that can come in to counter that. So little by little, the runic line is being chewed into. We are above though. We're currently ahead of them as Lister has taken a lot of casualties on this approach. Over here, where there is a lack of elite units, the Gamp Rim and alongside the Flag Rim, of course, are doing their work. And those Guardians of Khazad Dûm matching up against the Scion Rim. The Scion Rim no longer have a morale buff, so they're not quite as cool as they used to be, but they're still going to serve a purpose. Crossbowmen, as we said before, these Ward Riders are just locking them in place, stopping them from firing or stopping them being as effective. Innis Rim coming in for a charge against the Inquisitors. That heavy armor will keep them alive for a little bit longer, but we need the Knights if you want to have a chance at fighting the Inquisitors. Oh, good catch there from the Trolls there. Just sort of tearing into these Dragon Knights, battering them off their horses. But, yeah, one quick charge and those Trolls are going to be hurting. How are these Shadow Guard, Camel Shadow Guard? Actually, oh, sorry, these were Shadow Guard, not Shadow Bows. Whoopsie daisies, yep. So this is just, they're very good, very useful, I'm sure, but I'm sure you would love to have a unit of Shadow Bows right now, considering this has been a very organised front line. Shadow Guard perhaps not really targeting their perfect enemy here with the snag of Stalkers, but it's just helping out and trying to relieve some pressure on these Scion Rim, who are probably going to be breaking soon. Sorry, Griffin. I think I'll say Griffin is coming in, slamming into the side of the Guardians of Khazad Dûm, which is this is the side where Lister is the strongest, and he is sort of curling up around Gil-galad's position. And I think once we get a break somewhere, it's going to spread across the line. Oh, speaking of a break though, these Guardians broke over 60 men left. That's quite surprising. I guess just the high damage arrows from the Lunar Rim staring the Scion Rim in the face, and yeah, just so many men around them. They ended up breaking. That's quite impressive. Dalian Cav, fantastic. Ew, these halberds, even as long as he gets in and out real quick, which the Dalian Cav can do. They're quite swift little cavalry, so they can run in and out. Oh dear, a lot of fallen Earls of Dale, probably fallen from crossbow fire. That is a terrible shame. But it looks like the Dwarves of Erebor are making their attack. Ironfoot Spear's about to clash with the Barding Herd. The Barding Herd are going to love that fight, I think, as long as they don't get busted through. Now, have I clashed with my enemy? I have. Once again, the Cav have come forward, but I think I've managed to catch them here amongst my clansmen. And I've tried to avoid a one-to-one fight with my Coalfell Maidens battling up against the Knights of the Silver Swan. But when they got caught up with my clansmen, I'm more than happy with that. And chasing some of them off, making sure that they do not come back to the fight as well is important to me. But I am lurching forward, and I'm I'm not really wanting to have a... Even though Rhudaur is, of course, great on the charge, I don't want to do that until I'm ready. So I was pursuing them and poking away at a few more of them as they fell back, but I didn't really want them to turn around and kill the outnumbered Coldfell Maidens there. Not when they still had all of their javelins. Gosh dang, she is coated right now in Knights of the Silver Swan's blood. Over here, still not a full clash though. How are these? Yeah, these Arfit Spears are really not loving this engagement. Nice, organised, heavily armoured AP halberdiers in the form of the Barding Herd just cracking on down. And that is not something that these poor dwarves can really deal with too well. And but we're going to be getting some more support momentarily. Over here, how has the front line held up? Griffin once again helping out with his cavalry. I'd come in for the Guardians of Carn Dûm. I think he's going to go for the halberds though. Yeah, no, it looks like Lister's spotting that, and he's letting him come in. And, yep, sort of turns around, grabs them, and this will be the end of those poor Earls of Dale. The Trolls are still alive. They've managed to avoid any cavalry charges. The Shadow Guard are going to be hurting them, though. Nice high damage AP. Definitely good for dealing with a nicely armoured unit of knights like that. A fallen General of Rhun, though, that's not going to be great. The men of Rhun are more disciplined than their southern friends or their southern brothers, but they are going to be breaking when their general falls away. Saying that though, it looks like the pikemen once again, the stubborn orcs of Angmar have fallen away first. What are we at now? 26 for 38, so we are ahead quite a bit. As those that front line just collapses there. But it seems that the right flank is really where Angmar is pushing through, but the left flank is where Rhun have had a lot of success. It's kind of nice, sort of the very black of Angmar meshing in with the gold of Rhun. Warg Riders though are still active, and Lister will be looking for a target. Nice and organised, dead front line there. Nobody's really been pushing anybody back. It's just been killing. Sorry, just adjusting my headset. That won't sound too nice, I'm sure, over the mic. Earls of Dale catching the Blacklock Engineers, fantastic. Even if they can just stop them from firing, that's good. But while they're there, the halberds are coming in, and if any crossbowmen are around, this is a good target. These crossbows might as well just turn around, give a volley or two to the Earls of Dale, just to free up those Blacklocks. Barding Herd have taken a good bit of damage, as the Erebor Legionnaires are not going to go down easy, especially when they've just got little Lake Town pikemen stabbing at them. Sons of Durin as well, not an easy thing to bring down for the men of Dale. Lake Town pikes, where the pikemen have been organised, they have been able to outrange the Barding Herd by the looks of things, especially these Barding Herd that are currently turned around. But they're getting prodded back by the Lake Town pikemen. But that heavy armour is going to be able to resist a lot of their damage. Once again, the Barding Herd are sort of turned around. I don't know what's caused this, but really needs to be sorted out. I think I've committed to I've committed to an actual assault now. My pikemen are marching forward. My clansmen, I always like to lead the way with my clansmen. They're good. They can take a charge and they can sort of hold the enemy in place. And they've got the defensive skill. Well, not much from Rhudaur has any defensive skill, but generally spearmen have a bit more in the way of it. And they can just hold them in their place for a little bit longer while the pikemen come in for the kill. And I can just start stabbing them down. Rhudaur Axemen on the flank there, dealing with what's left of those Knights of the Silver Swan alongside the Coldfell Maidens. And the Coldfell Maidens are looking forward to just becoming javelin cavalry, I'm sure, and not having to chase around these heavily armoured knights anymore. Zooming on in, what we got going on? Yeah, we are sort of just outnumbering and overwhelming them on the front line. I've accidentally gotten my Erebor Troll Hunters stuck in the fight like that. So they're still getting some javelins off right into the face of these Athelian men-at-arms. I'm happy enough with that target. Would really prefer somebody else, but it's okay. But still, I want them to get out of the fight as soon as I can, just so that they can use all of their javelins. Because they definitely have not. I think they've only sent around 1 or 2 volleys at this time. They're pikemen pushing into my pikemen, but I love the Hurinidane pikes. These men can hold the line very, very well, and they will do so, alongside their Rhudaur friends. Over here too, even the Dunman pikemen can hold quite well. Dornernal pikes, if things were totally fair, would be able to mince them. But I think we just saw a volley of axes. Yep, there we go, coming from the Trollshaw axe throwers. We've got a good waver here from the Tornastian spears. Trying to come around here for a wide flank, but I've attracted the ire of the Dol Amroth elites. As the Haven Guard have lurched forward, they're going to be more than a match for my Rhudaur swordsmen. Once again, my poor Erebor troll hunters, they've not used up their ammunition. They're just having to hold the line against the Haven Guard. And the dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan, they may not be fantastic. You know, they are much more of a morale buffing elite for Dol Amroth rather than a real, immense sword and board, but they should be more than capable of going toe-to-toe with the Rhudaur swordsmen. So my little flank here has ended, and these Rhudaur axemen are routing off with 80 men, so they should return. But what's really frightening to me is the arrival of the Wanderers of Nimrodel, and of course the Tirthair marksmen rattling their shots off as well. They may not be body piercing, but to a lightly armoured man of Rhudaur, any arrow is pretty dangerous. So I need to break around to attack them. I've got my axe throwers though. And what is my target with the axe throwers? I think I actually kind of wanted to go for the Wanderers in Nimrodel, start to just lower their number. I have managed to pull out the troll hunters though, so they're going to loose their javelins. And but as for the main front line, even with a lot of firepower that's coming at me, I am winning. Especially with my Rhudaur axemen getting around the flank. No matter how much fire they may have taken from these Dornernal archers, they are getting there. Having a look back at the Dwarves, Bardian marksmen, the Hammer Guard are now sort of unanswered. Because Dale sent all of his cavalry over to support Rhun, a lot of these heavy units of goat cavalry have been able to survive. And they will now do a lot of damage, while the halberds and pikes hold. Perhaps not winning the engagement, but doing the best that they can. Being very stubborn, as is the Dwarven nature. We're at 59 for 62, so they are pulling it back a bit. As, oh gosh, yep. So it looked like Lister was able to sort of just get around and use those trolls. Once again, they're very bloodied, but there's still quite a lot of them. And they've survived quite well. Definitely managing to avoid any cavalry charges. These Dragonwrath warlords, it looks like Galgalad is wanting to just grab everything he's got and move over to repay the favour to Dale. Just come over and support him, which I think is a good idea. There's no point in just sacrificing what he's got left here. As tempting as it would be to just turn around and give a quick charge to those Blackguard, I just don't think he wants to do that. Not with the trolls so close by, and of course everything else lurking around the Gunnerbad Guard and such. But I think Lister has realised, I probably shouldn't lead the charge with my Blackguard, just to make sure that they don't get swallowed up by cavalry. They may only be 6 men left in these units. Together that's 12 lancers. Actually, sorry, he's not going to be able to have a lance, but everybody else will. So that is quite fearsome either way. They're still fresh though, so they can still do a lot of running around. So let's see if he can come over here and really assist Dale in their defense against Erebor. Kildren River Patrol out of ammunition, very good to be used up against the pikemen of the dwarves, but with the swords like that, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. They're just low damage, is not really going to be able to chip into the armour of the dwarves. Bardian marksmen getting around the back there, entirely surrounding this Iron Halberdier force, but it's holding out. It's holding out quite well. I guess it's just quite low damage attacks coming from every side that is just going to keep it going. Hammer Guard, they're still alright, still just coming in and out, but mixing it up with the Blackshot Dragon Slayers and nearby the halberds of the Barding Herd is not really the place they want to be. Wow, yeah, so we saw how quickly they've died. They were 20 just a moment ago, but now they've been torn all the way down to 10. I think, did they announce to say only half our force remains? I think they probably did, as a lot of my numbers have been chewed up here. I've got my axes flying on in. As I say, I want these knights dead. I don't want to fight them in melee too much. My Rhudaur marksmen there, I think they still might have ammunition, but I've had to just throw them on forward just to hold this in place for a little bit longer. Axes coming on down right into the backs. Great stuff. And I've got javelins coming. So they've got javelins coming from their front, and I've got axes coming from behind. But those wanderers are still alive, and there's still 70 of them. So he's just trying to find a good place. I'm trying to chase them away with the axes. And even though these axemen definitely won't be able to kill all of this stuff, if I can just keep them bothered, stop them from firing into my line, that's all I want. I've got my Rhudaur swordsmen coming forward now too. They'll be a bit better off. They've got a bit of a shield value on them, so quite a nice shield value actually. 8 more troll hunters, definitely the most armored unit I've got, and so they can go toe to toe with these marksmen quite nicely. The pikemen definitely not though. But overall, it's more of a tidying up thing. I'm trying to do it as efficiently as I can, because Dol Amroth can still do a lot of damage to me with these archers if I let him. Over here, yep, as you see, the Rhudaur swordsmen have gotten stuck in amongst them. The Wanderers of Nimrodel, though, are making distance, and that's the issue. We've still got the Haven Knights backed up by another unit of dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan. So I think I'm going to be bringing around these axe throwers once again, just to throw down right down that line, because I just want them wiped out, so that I can form up and be ready for whatever is to come. Blackshot Dragon Slayers joining this battle here, and those halberds are not going to last too much longer. Yeah, there's some guys up at the front line there, some Blackshots, bringing their massive swords down onto the backs of the halberdiers. Laketown Infantrymen still with ammunition. Okay, good. If they can even shooting these halberdiers right in their face, because they lack a shield, you can do some good damage. River Patrol holding, shaken but holding. But not really built to deal with the Sons of Durin. But if they can just hold them in place while the Laketown Infantrymen fire some more arrows in, that's helpful. But still, this right side is breaking. Oh no, the stakes are quite close there to the Camel's Dragon Knights. How many more do we have? We've got 5 Camel's Dragon Knights and 5 Dragon's Wrath Warlords, who hopefully Gil-galad will be micromanaging quite extensively. Let's go up to 0.8. We don't need to go quite as slow. Of course, if I was him, I'd be prioritizing the crossbows. Really, I think I asked him. I think I said to him, like, could you just try to delete their crossbows as best you can, because everything else I felt comfortable fighting. But if he's still got his heavy crossbows rattling into me after I've already taken so much fire from Dol Amroth, I'm not going to make it. So he needs to try and answer to that. And he's doing quite a good job of it right now. Blackshot, oh, good. That's me grabbed Dol Amroth's general after a lot of javelins have been hurled into him. And that's Erebor's general dropping shortly after. Erebor's morale is not the same as their western brothers, but it's still going to hold out quite well. Yeah, so you can see I've got my Erebor troll hunters lined up right there, just getting some javelins right into the backs of the Haven Guard, so that they don't kill off too many of my berserkers, and just wipe them out faster. I'm no doubt going to be scoring a lot of friendly fire here, but it's worth a bit of it. I don't want to score much of it, but it's worth a bit of it. I think that's me actually stopping. I was feeling comfortable about how quickly we were killing them off. Some marksmen there, broken and dead. Over here, we've got some axemen, some Coalfell maidens, and some swordsmen. Oh, good stuff. I love that glitch. Yeah, it's my favourite one. But yeah, we're just dealing with these Wanderers of Nimrodel, but they kind of outnumber us. Do they? No, they don't. But the Wanderers of Nimrodel, being human rangers, they have got quite a good defensive skill with their swords. So my big heavy axes, they're probably going to be tossing off quite a bit of that damage with their defensive skill. So they will be okay at resisting that. But and they might even chase away at my axemen. Goodness me, those axemen are triggering that glitch all over the place. Actually, that's really nice. I'd say it seems to be something that happens when sort of two-handed units sort of try to kill something quite a lot. This one guy, I don't know where he got lost, but he's coming in now. Tirathair marksman. Ah, that's why some of the swordsmen ran off. Oh my goodness me. Ah, he's done it too. A one-handed unit did it. All right, okay. Maybe Dol Amroth is very susceptible to it. Oh well. Coming on back toward the dwarves and Dale. Barding marksman here. Yeah, trying to rattle off into the approaching swarm of orcs now. The dwarves are holding out as is all they really needed to do. Just withstand the dwarven horde. Don't let them, withstand the Dalian attack even. Don't let them reform, don't let them reorganize, and just hold the ground until Angmar arrives. And that is them getting here now. Still some knights. Don't really want to be charging anything here though. If they can get, yeah, they're getting in quite quick and careful against the Gundabad guard. They need to run off though. But it looks, no, because the thing is, if he turns around to attack them, that exposes his back. But I think the Barding Marksmen are out of ammunition. Exhausted though, all of these attackers. Daly in general there, but going toe to toe with the Blackguard, he might not last too long. Especially now that pikes are going to be backing that formation up. And trolls are coming in now too. Only 8 trolls left, so he's going to have to be a bit careful with them, because they will be very badly hurt now. Goblin Tracker's out of ammunition, just some meat for the grinder. Pikemen there. Ready to come on in. What we at generally? 81 for 88, so we are still ahead there. Yeah, Gundabad guard turned around, managed to catch the Dragon's Wrath warlords, picking them apart. 3 Bardine marksmen, one of which is a banner carrier there, out of ammunition. Just I don't know what they'll do. They can throw themselves on in when the time calls for that. So since I am just tidying up what's left of the archers, I grabbed everything I had just to move in, because it is definitely worth it for me to support my ally while Lister is still fighting him. If Lister ends up winning this engagement, once again, as I say, reorganizes, then it's a bad deal for me. So I wanna launch myself in, even if it means I'm arriving in a bit more of a disorganized fashion myself. So I start running there, because I don't think I'm going to make it in time. Those wanderers, not wardens, those wanderers have killed off a poor Coalfell maiden, and a lot of my axemen. Jeepers sake, 1, 2, 3, you know, lots of them are just T-posed like that. But firing off into this formation, good body piercing ammunition from the right side is always what you want. Oh god, I'm dropping like flies there, but not many tier 3 marksmen left, and just got to kill a few more of them, and then everything else will come. I think I pulled these units away now just to try and have less people in this blob. I don't need as many people in this blob as I've got, and just sending them running on over. But the main confrontation, that's probably the last time I'll look over there, because it is just tidying up. The main confrontation is over here. This is really where we're going to be winning or losing. Dale is breaking, but Lister's army is still get disconnected quite badly. He is trying to bring it all together, just to form a nice circle, but I need to stop him from doing that, or if he does do it, I need to sort of swarm all around him. I think those Goblin Trackers actually still have ammunition. Nice. My Rhudaur Berserkers are coming in for a nice flank. The General leading the way, of course. Just slicing through some of these poor gobbles. Definitely a little bit out of their depth, but they'll do their purpose. Hiding amongst the stakes, I think that's just by accident, but it's always helpful just to make sure in case we have any cavalry about. We don't really want to come charging into that blob. More Rhudaur Berserkers. And it looks like he's going to try to answer with Guardians of Karn Doom. Okay, cool. Rhudaur Berserkers, they may be 2 hit points, and they're pretty good. I do really like them, but they're not an exceptional unit once they've used up their throwing axes. Pikes are definitely a good counter to them. So they're going to be coming on in. My little 3 armor value is not going to be enough, even for the lower damage off pikes. 8 more Troll Hunters, alongside some Rhudaur swordsmen. The 8 more Troll Hunters actually do still have some javelins, and I was wanting to get them around, but Lister's not letting me do that. So he is smashing them in, and but my enslavers will definitely deal with that. Massive AP damage from their axes, or their pole axes really, will chop through those trolls in no time. And the stubbornness of the 8 more Troll Hunters should keep the fight going. Axemen there clashing into the front of the Gundabad Guard is a bit messy for them. Gundabad Guard are really quite a high quality unit, but we'll do some good damage, and we've got more reinforcements en route. Now that I've been able to sort of spread out my pikemen, I did actually talk a lot of crap about 2 ranks deep of pikes, but we've got a lot less numbers now, so I feel a bit better about it. But we have arrived properly, and I'm going to be able to get a good surround here. So now it is just, can the good quality of these Blackguard and the Dwarves withstand my heavy numbers? A few Hereditary Berserkers mixed in with the Rhudaur Marksmen. Just applying pressure to this side. I still got some cav, but as I say, need to be careful about those stakes that are dotted around. My Hereditary Berserkers have really got a good curl all the way around. Announcer's pretty happy about my chances. Rhudaur Axemen coming around here, broken through that position. And my pikemen, as I say, just little by little chipping into them. The Dunman pikes fighting alongside the Hereditary pikes were making some good ground, even up against these heavy Guardians of Cardoon. Let's sort of see what... Yep, I get my next unit of Dunman pikes, and that completes the circle. Do they have anything more over here? No, men just routing, and yeah, nope, I was confusing it. Everybody else is just routing. This is really the last defensive position that they have, so I'm just swallowing up. We'll jump up to maybe, let's go for like 2.3 or something, just as they hold out for the next 2,000 frames. My enslavers are arriving. My general gets dropped there by a blackguard, but he's definitely a worthy foe to fall to, I feel. They're pushing me back with the Dunman pikes. Sorry, no, with the Witch Realm pikes with their armor upgrade there. They are gaining some ground, and my Rhudaur Marksmen are almost breaking here too. They really are trying to fight their way out of this surround, and they've almost done that. But once this group of marksmen fall away, the cavalry, the heavy knights of Rhun can become active. But it looks like some of these guys are just trying to escape there. A few pikemen running off, trying to get chased down by the Rhudaur Marksmen, but they're going to make it away. Oh, a few of them not getting caught by my Dunman pikes. And yep, one more as well there. Looks like oh no, I thought the Knights of Rhun would not be comfortable with letting these orcs escape after killing so many of their countrymen. But no, they are focusing on the task at hand. Ooh, watch out. Oh no, he did manage to break them. That was some good stuff. It's a very nerve-wracking thing sometimes, just charging pikes in the back. You really want them to break after the charge, because if they don't, oh wow, that's quite a messy corpse line there.
Behold how our cowardly foe
And that, I think, is that. Oh yeah, nope, still the Witch King himself cracking through my men with quite a few of his blackguard. There's still 17 blackguard, but they're definitely all very spread out here. So yeah, there'll be a few of them dotted all over the place, racking up a handful more kills. We'll jump up to 2 times speed properly now, as we just watch. So Rhudaur is... It really battles for being my favourite faction between it and Cardlin. I really like them both, you know, for very different reasons, of course. But yeah, Rhudaur, I like the morale. I think that's definitely a big thing. Like, I ask a lot from my men. I throw them around by themselves a lot, so I think I definitely struggle to play as a lot of the evil men and a lot of the orcs, because when I try to pull off these big flanks, it doesn't really work out for me because my men just end up breaking. But Rhudaur's kind of stubborn morale is helpful for that. Hereditary Berserkers there, yeah, they had to fight up against some good quality guys, especially the Blackguard toward the end, of course. And I think I was a bit... I just had them on fire at will. Like, they kind of ran out of ammunition before I was even looking at what they were throwing their axes at, so that's probably... it's on me. The Enslavers, though, pretty damn good, and killing off those trolls at the end of the fight too, very impressive. And even I threw them in to answer to the Haven Guard too, so yeah, it's not so bad. Dunman Pikes doing very, very well, but the Hereditary Pikes, once again, just leading the way there. I really love them. There's not many units, as I say, I recommend going into the red limit for. I usually will scold people for it, like, you know, I mean, make your army how you want to make it, but like, usually I think it is a bad idea to go into the red limit. But grabbing a second Hereditary Pike, I can usually understand that. My swordsman there, up against a heavily armoured opponent like Dol Amroth, I get that. But like 114 I'm very happy with. Axeman there, 83 is pretty good. They were definitely shot to pieces there. My Rhudaur clansmen there, wow, that's a lot of men coming back. You know, 108 guys healing up, so that's good to see. But they really launched themselves in and got stuck in the fight first. And yeah, dude, like 72 kills is quite nice. Being Rhudaur men, of course, they've got quite high attack values, which is something I quite like about them. They might be spearmen, but they're quite high damage spears. And troll hunters there, you see these guys, they barely managed to use their javelins. I think that they were the ones that threw some javelins into the Haven Guard, and then immediately after that they were attacked by the trolls of Gundabad, so it's okay, I'm fine with that. Troll hunters there, sorry, axe throwers, troll shot axe throwers. Usually, as I say, it's quite rare for me to bring them when I'm not in a siege. I'll take them in a siege, but I usually won't take them to just a normal battle. So I was quite chuffed with that, actually. 174 is really good. Marksman there, though. I mean, 216, that's great. I'm chuffed to bits for that. There was a lot of that was civilians. Damn, I probably threw my bloody Hernadine Berserker axes at civilians, didn't I? Oh well. Either way. And then Coalfell Maidens did pretty good. 149, I'm chuffed to bits with that. And 97, yeah, definitely up against some nice high-quality Dol Amroth cavalry. Cannot complain. Gilgalad did a pretty good job. Lister is a very good player, so I probably should have stressed just how what he was into, what he was in for there. But he did pretty well. He did a lot better than most when they get faced with Lister's Angmar assault, and he kept his cool, got a lot of damage from his crossbowmen. Maybe could have been a bit more active with his knights. Cat is trying to escape, but I'll try to just finish this first. Dale, I think, yeah, Dale did. I know, I love you. He sneezes. He pretends to sneeze because he knows that when he cries at doors, people can ignore him because it's just Basil. I'll get him in a minute. But he thinks if I sneeze, then people think I'm sick, so they have to do things for me. He's a bad boy. Dale did pretty well. As I say, it's always tough to defeat dwarves with an archer faction because there's that heavy armor and those good shields, but he did a good job with it, and the Barding Herd are fantastic for that job. Dol Amroth there, as I say, yeah, it was cool. A lot of archers to try and mess me up. I like the idea of having your archers in the back lines, having your good quality archers in the back lines. I see. The whole civilian strategy, I never get it. I just don't understand it. It doesn't. I never really see it being too effective myself. But yeah, if you're gonna tie me up with civilians, you need to do something immediately after that. While I'm just massacring them, you need to be hurting me in some way. But yeah, Erebor there, yeah, a good attack. Very risky not to take some of the Ironfoot warriors. Yeah, because we could have been shot up to pieces with those halberds and pikes. And Lister, yeah, not too much can really be said. Yeah, no, it all worked pretty damn well. As I say, I think he's definitely gone off the barrow wights a bit just because they're not the same as they used to be, and they kind of just slow down your army for not as much to be gained. But I do. That's him. I don't know how that comes across on the mic, but yeah. So I'll go and deal with that. But I really like the barrow wights now. They're really pretty. Anyway. See ya.